Okay, everyone's okay now, right? My goodness. Thank you. Okay, so we're doing inverses. Oh, this volume. Okay, we're doing inverses. And inverses is the undo operation. And we're going to say the inverse of multiply is divide. The inverse of plus is subtract. And we can go both ways with that. So inverse of divide is multiply, inverse of subtract is add. And to write an inverse function is let's start with number 1. Y is equal to log base 6 of 2x. So our goal is to write this inverse function, meaning this opposite function, our undo function. We do that by 4 steps, or not 4 steps, but let's start with 1. Step 1 is to change all x's to y's and y's to x's. So our y becomes an x log base 6 of y. And you notice I changed all my x's to y's and my y's to x's. Step 2 is to solve for y. So in order to solve for y, I need to get rid of the log using this base 6 here. And we talked about the way we get rid of log is using our inverse operation exponents. So I'm going to write the 6th power to both sides. See, now this whole section here is an exponent. This is now an exponent. That's an exponent. We've made everything into a power. So when we rewrite it, it's going to be 6 to the x is equal to, this goes away. They cancel each other out because logs and exponents are inverses of each other. And we're left with y. Now, if this was a f of x function, we could have added a previous step. Like our step 1 really was change f of x to y. And now our last step would have changed y to f inverse of x, okay? That's if we start off as f rather than writing y. What happened to 2x? What happened is I miscopied it. You're right. That's supposed to be a 2y. We're left with a 2 in here. Sorry about that. Trying to catch up. Okay, one more step. We're solving for the y. We're going to divide by 2, since I forgot that before. So y is equal to 6 to the x power over 2. Okay. So let's see if this works. An x and y problem. If we start off with x's and y's. So up here, pick an easy x value that we know that I can take the exponent of 6. 6 to the 1 power is 6. 6 to the 2nd power is 36. So if x was 3, let's write 3 here. If this was 3, wouldn't that be 6? So it'll be log equals to log base 6. 3 times 2 is 6. That equals to 1. Now, if we go into our inverse version here, we have to flip them. Y becomes x's, right? So we swap them out. This is our y inverse problem. So if I plug in 1 here, so we end up with 6 to the 1 power over 2 is 3. So we end up going backwards. What's this? Whoa. So they undo each other. Okay. So these problems can be pretty fast since these logs problems are pretty easy, but just to get into practice, you guys solve them for logs. Okay, we'll just do one more problem. We'll do number do number, let's do number 2. Let's do number 2, that's fine. Y is equal to log base 5 of x to the 4th. Our inverse. So inverse is different than just solving. Inverse makes, we want to write a whole new function that undoes the problem. So we have to follow our rules. Our input becomes our output, and our output becomes our input. So first step, swap x's for y's and y's for x's. X equals to log base 5 of y to the 4th power. How do we get rid of the log? We use exponents. The base that we should use is 5. 5 to both sides. To rewrite this is 5 to the x power is equal to, this goes away, and we're left with y to the 4th. Solving for y, we need to get rid of the exponent, and that's just a 4th root. So we write this as 5 to the, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can write to the 4th power, and that's kind of like an algebra messy way. But I think a more elegant way is if we wrote instead 5 to the x equals to y to the 4th, and we to the exponent of 1/4 to both sides. We notice 1/4 and 4 multiply to become 1, so we're left with 1y is equal to x, 5 to the x over 4 power. So that's our inverse. That's part 1. This is pretty much just practicing what we did before, and we're just doing a couple more practice problems as we finish off this section. Okay, now this next section, we did talk about it in class, but we haven't done many problems about it. And the idea is just expanding and reducing functions. And we're going to expand this each log. We'll write it out as much as we can as a common log or a natural log. So homework number, problem number 7. Okay. Actually, in the homework, they want you to just leave it as the base that they provide. So we're going to expand. Means we're going to write it out. Write it out. So log base 7, 11 over 3 squared to the 4th power. Now, a couple of rules that we know already. For example, logs, what do they do to exponents? It moves it to the front. What do logs do to dividing on the inside? Means we're subtracting on the outside. So we're going to do this in an order from outside in, because I can't deal with the division till I deal with the exponent in 4. So let's go and move the exponent 4 in the front. 4 log base 7, parentheses 11 over 3 squared. Okay with that? Okay, next step. What happens, we said, when we are dealing with a divide? For dividing inside, we are subtracting on the outside. So it's 4. Here's a careful part. We need a parentheses because we're separating the log base 7 of 11 minus log base 7 of 3 squared. The rule was log of a over b is equal to log a log a minus log b. So that's what we did here. We just said that's a and that's our b. One more step is we're going to bring down this exponent here. And what do logs do to exponents? It brings them to the front. So 4 log 7 11 minus 2 log base 7 of 3. We're going to distribute the 4. So before log base 7 11 minus 8 log 7 cubed. Now, on the side, could I have done the problem slightly different and would have given me the same answer? Well, back up here, what if I distribute the 4 first? Would that have given me the same answer? If I distribute the 4 first, that would have been, write this with a different color, blue, log 7, 11 to the 4th power over 3 to the 8. If I'm dividing logs, I'm really subtracting them. So it'd be log base 7, 11 to the 4th minus log base 7, 7, 3 to the 8. And we're still moving the 4 front and moving the 8 to the front. 4 log base 7, 11 minus 8 log base 7 of 3. Okay. Now, some of these might get a little more complicated. Like if you look at 8 has a square root, 12 has a power of a power. And again, we could distribute that before or after. It would actually give us the same answer. So let's do 8. Now, how long would it really take you to do this problem? It should be less than a minute. Sorry, I just got a phone call. Log base 8, C, cube root of A and B. We're gonna separate this. If I'm multiplying, I'm really adding. Let's write it as log base 8 of C plus log, sorry, C cubed, plus log base 8 of the square root of A and B. I'm going to rewrite this square root as a power. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to text someone. It's one of the assistant principals. Okay. Where does this exponent go? Where does this exponent go? 3 log base 8 of C. Done. The 1/2 goes in the front. 1/2 log base 8. And if we're adding, if we're multiplying, really adding, let's do that right now. Log base 8 of A plus log base 8 of B. If you want to rewrite that out, let me take copy it. Oh, I copied it wrong. That's a 3. I'm sorry. That's a 3. That's 3 log base 8 of C plus log base 8 of A over 3 plus log base 8 of B over 3. And this is a skill you can imagine using on an exam. Okay, let's finish up our last couple examples. Condensing means we're rewriting as one large log. So we're condensing. And these problems can be pretty quick, maybe a minute, 2 minutes. So that's right. Number 15 goes 10 log base 4x minus 2 log base 4y. Where does this 10 go? Where does this 2 go? If they're in front of a log, it's because they originally were from the exponent. Log base 4x to the 10 minus log base 4y to the 2. And what happens if I'm subtracting logs? If I'm subtracting logs from each other, we write them as dividing. We're dividing on the inside, okay? So it's log base 4 of x to the 10 over y squared. this is not log base 4 of x to the 10 over log base 4 y squared. In what world does subtraction become division? There's a cost, right? So they're on the inside. You can't just say, that's in basic math, 3 minus 2 is the same as 3 over 2. That's what you're saying back here. So that's why this doesn't work. I'm going to highlight this with the red, right? This is all bad. Any questions? Hey, Liam. Natalie. Okay. There's a reactions buttons. If you guys ever want to try the reaction buttons, you can do a thumbs up. Doesn't matter. Okay, but if you guys have any questions, please make sure you raise your hand. There's a raise your hand option too. Hopefully I can see it. Okay, let's do one more. One of the weird ones. Here's a cool one. Here's a fast one. Number 16 looks like it's a lot of work, but if you notice, they all have the same fractions. So if I factor out a 1/3, we're left with natural log of x plus natural log of y plus natural log of z. Well, doesn't adding logs mean multiplying? Adding logs means multiplying. This is 1/3 natural log of x times y times z. That's it. That's how fast it is. The pass is out right now, Liam, so you have to wait for someone who left that hasn't returned yet. Please, okay? Okay, now this last part here is the tricky one. This is the properties of logs and values below. Use the properties of logs and the values below to find the logarithm I indicated. Do not use a calculator to evaluate the logs. Now, this is a skill. They're going to give you it says find log base 6 of 10 over 9. Sure, you could do that, right? Sure, you could do that on a calculator. But if you're not allowed a calculator, you have to rewrite this log in a way that you can use our previous values. See, there's all these values here. Use these previous values. You see those values? So here's what we do. I do not know what the log base 6 of 10 over 4 is. I do not know. But if I could rewrite this by expanding it, log base 6 of 10 minus log base 6 of 4. Hey, we know what log base 6 of 10 is. We know what log base 6 of 4 is. So this is just log of 1.3 minus log, oops. Oh, I have no clue I did that, I'm sorry. It's just 1.3. 1.3 minus 0.8. And the answer is 0.5. That's super fast. But you have to know how to break down that log. Some of these end up with it being a little more tricky. Like if we look at number 27, we want to find log base 8 of 1 over 36. But I don't see a 36. I don't see 36 at all. Well, we can rewrite log base 8 as log base 8 of 36 to the negative 1 power. Or you could have went this way, log base 8 of 1 over 6 squared. And then we could have said on top log base 8 is really 6 squared to negative 1 power if you want to really write it out, which is equal to log base, where does, we can write this 6 to the negative 2. Where does the exponent go? In the front. Negative 2 log base 8 of 6. We see here base 8 of 6 is negative 2 log base, darn it. That value is just 0.9, negative 1.8. Let's see if it works the other way. If we rewrite this, it would be log base 8 of 6 to the negative 2 power. We love exponents. Thanks for understanding, Liam. Negative 2 goes in the front. Negative 2 log base 8 of 6. And we know what this is. This is negative 2 times 0.9. That's what we got here, right? And we're back to the same answer. Okay, so that's your assignment. There are 28 of them, but you should go through them pretty quickly. I'm trying a new way of submitting multiple choice, just so you guys get feedback really quick and I can keep up with you guys. If you look at, let's see if I can get to the Schoology website real quick. Oops. Shouldn't be showing any of this stuff. Okay, courses, period 2. Down here at the bottom, you guys have, here are worksheets, enter and answer on the assessment. That's a worksheet. And then homework 22A, this here is assignment. So you're gonna open up the PDF, do all the problems first. As you can see, there are problems like we did before, expand each log. And there's just 4 questions to see if the system works. And then, so once you answer 4 questions, you go back. Once you answer 4 questions, you go back here. And then this is what you guys should see. Start your attempt, you have 5 attempts remaining. And then A, B, C, D is just gonna tell me A, B, C, or D. A, answer 2 is B or C, D, and let's say D again. And then you hit review, and then it'll grade it for you. Let's see if that's a fast way for us to do multiple choice, because it could be really quick for you guys to turn and work that way. So I'm also trying to figure out a way for us to do tests. We might again do it the college way, where you guys will have to turn on your webcam, so I can see that you guys are not using any devices, and we might have to do it that way. But I'm trying to figure it out. If I do it that way, I'll come up with a tutorial video of what my expectations are. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video now.